Welcome to Monday. It is a Monday, the first Monday of spring. Is it spring where you are? I am Sybil Wilkes, and this is what you need to know. And it is Monday with our social
What?
activist, Coy Malone, as well as Mr. Chris Paul is here with us today, his partner in crime, now running up to join us. Hey, Huggy
Hey,
Lowdown.
what's up?
And a very special guest today. We have Miss Brianna Daniels. Brianna is with NASCAR, the first African American woman in a NASCAR Cup Series pit crew. She's an official tire changer, and we'll get to that and a part of the first female duo to do pit crew work. Welcome, Brianna.
Hey y'all.
Hey, Brianna.
Hey. Yeah.
Nice intro.
Well, I'm very excited to have you here. I think that is awesome. You are a graduate of an HBCU, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes,
And so let's talk about what you do and how you got there. How did you get there, Brianna?
So it was pretty random. Growing up, I was not a NASCAR fan. Didn't even watch NASCAR.
Like a lot of Black folks.
Yeah, right, exactly. So I was at Norfolk State at the time, and I was like
Corporal Avenue.
I was like in between classes on campus. I was like, you know what? I'm in the mood for a Chick-fil-A sandwich. Let me go stop by Chick-fil-A and grab that. Number one with the pickles. I was like, I gotta have it, right? So I went to Chick-fil-A on campus, was about to eat my sandwich, and then I get like a strong tap on my shoulder, like mid-bite, and I'm like, and I look up, and this is a lady named Tiffany Sykes. She was our announcer at Norfolk State, like announced at our basketball games and worked in our athletics department. And, she was like, hey, Brianna, I see you enjoying that sandwich. And I was like, that I am. What's up, girl? And then she was like, hey, the NASCAR pit crew is going to be at our school on Wednesday. I think you should try out. And I was looking at her like, from sister to sister, girl. I'm watching NASCAR. I was like, what you telling me for? It was Monday when she brought it up to me. And she was like, I know. And then I was like, you said the NASCAR pit crew, like, what is that? Like, that's how much out of tune I was with NASCAR. I didn't even know what the pit crew was. So she went to YouTube on her phone and showed me a video of a pit stop. And I saw it and I was like, dang, that's fast. She took her phone away and was like, yep. So if you end up going to the tryout, let me know. Okay, bye. And I'm just looking at her all confused, like, what?
You got a chicken sandwich in one hand and a woman telling you something that could change your life in the other.
Yeah, I'm like, what? Tiffany, like, what are you talking about? So then I wasn't just, a women's basketball player at Norfolk State. Obviously, I was a student athlete. But, I was also doing an internship on campus where I was their video girl, recording the different sports teams whenever we weren't playing. So I will record our men's basketball games, bowling, softball, baseball. And I will also clip and, like, edit video footage of them, creating, like, highlight packages for the teams to send off to different coaches, so they can be recruited. So, like Wednesday, not only was this NASCAR tryout, there was also a professional baseball game that they wanted me to record for my internship. So I had to make a decision. I'm like,
wow.
Okay, I'm like, do I really feel like going to this NASCAR tryout? It's like, what if I'm not able to give it my all? Because at that time I was training to play professional basketball. So I was going through like really, really tough workouts. My body was all beat up and sore. And I was like, I just don't know if I have it in me to do this NASCAR tryout. And then I was like, for this professional baseball game, do I feel like standing up 6 hours? I don't think so. To record a baseball game. So then Wednesday morning, I woke up and it's like, God told me like, Brianna, you have to go to this tryout. And I'm
wow.
like, what?
God, who knew God was a NASCAR fan? Okay.
Yeah, so then it was held in our basketball gym. So then I walked in our basketball gym and I see a whole bunch of equipment laid out everywhere. And I see everything but a car, right? And the car is what I saw during the pit stop. So I'm looking around like, what is up with all this equipment? So that's where I met Coach Phil Horton of Rev Racing and NASCAR Drive for Diversity program under Max Siegel. Those are two very key people, important people in my life who, got me to where I am today. Because they make it their initiative and it's their goal to get more diversity.
Drive to diversity or something.
Yeah. Yes, to get more diversity in the sport. And they make sure that happens. So I met Coach Phil Horton and I was like, hey, what's up? And I was like, what's going on in here? Like, it's a bunch of stuff laid out everywhere. And he was like, yeah, about that. He was like, hey, my one and only girl. And I was like, what do you mean by that? And then he was like, you're the only girl I have trying out today. And I was like, okay, cool. What are we doing? And he was like, yeah, about the equipment, you see that all the equipment's laid out everywhere. You know, today I'm going to be testing you guys, your mental and your physical strength, just to see where you are with things. And I was like, okay. And what else? And he was like, you know, if you do good today, you'll get invited back to the National NASCAR Drive for Diversity Pit Crew Combine that they held like a month later. So then, like, you know, long story short, ended up doing a really, really good job that day. And then he was like, you'll definitely be hearing back from us. And I was like, yes. You know,
Wow.
Wow. So did you have to put a car together, or was it just?
Oh, no. So we actually, remember I told you there was a bunch of equipment laid out everywhere. So like he put us through like a fitness test. It was like a little mini combine just to see like where we are with things, you know? So then and since I was the only girl, like the dude I went against, I destroyed him. Like,
Wow. Yes.
Brianna,
Huh?
what's his name?
You remember his name?
Yeah, no, we didn't do that, nah. But that's funny. But so after that day, I did a really, really good job. He put us through the fitness test and everything. So then I got invited to the national combine, and in this national combine, there was actually more of us there. So the first tryout, it was only like a few of us there, like 4 of us there, and then in this national combine, there was like 24 of us there. And this time I wasn't
more women.
You see, yeah. So this time I wasn't the only, you know, woman. There were 6 of us. So I was like, look at that. Look at these girls coming up here trying to do this, you know?
You are an athlete.
Right. So,
like, I see my competition.
Women were there, and then the rest were guys. So then I'm like, okay. Then I see a car everywhere. You know, I'm like, okay, this is looking more like NASCAR. What I saw in the video. So then that day, that's when I found out that I was going to be specifically a tire changer. You know, coach is splitting everybody up in their different, you know, categories, saying like, you know, Brianna, you get over here with the tire changers, you know, tire carriers over here, jackmen over there, gasmen over here, you know, tire carriers over there. So pretty much he just split us all up, and we had literally like a day and a half to learn about our position. So we could put it all together for combine day, you know, so we can see who was going to get selected to come back. Because coach told us, Coach Phil Horton and Max Siegel, they said, you know, out of the 24 of y'all, I'm only bringing 10 of y'all back to do this thing for real. Just that's 10
competition. Yeah.
So I'm like, dang, I got to be one of those 10, you know, even though I still don't know what I'm getting myself into. I don't know how to do this.
Right. You were ready to go for it, though.
Yes, but I've been a lifelong athlete. So
she's competing. She's competing.
Right. Yeah, just compete. I just love to compete, you know.
Right.
So like I said, we had a day and a half to learn about everything. And I remember, I think it was like the actual day of the combine. You know, we had like a lunch break or whatever. But you know, coach seen me over there behind my wheel because I was practicing. I had my impact wrench and I was behind the wheel doing like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, you know, trying to get that rhythm down pack. And he was like, Bree, you know, it's lunch break. You don't you want no food? And I was like, look, the food gonna always be there. I need to do this.
My girl. Okay. Then, I know they love that.
He was like, I like her, you know?
Oh, nice.
So then ended up getting, you know, a quick bite to eat and then came back.
Operation work ethic. I like that.
Right. Hashtag. Yes.
It's just that dog in me, you know, to just want to be great, you know, at whatever I'm doing, even though I didn't have that much time to do it. So then like after lunch, we finally put everything together. Coach, you know, those guys, they split us all up on different teams, and he had us actually compete against each other, like in different pit crews. He put like, you know, a certain amount of us together and like timed us to see who can do it quick. He knew that we didn't have all the time in the world to learn about it, but he wanted to see like who can get it down quicker, you know?
Sure.
You know, and in a short amount of time, who can focus on him and listen to what he's saying.
So let me move you along here because, you know, time, you know about time. So from that day to when you found out you got the gig and went forward, how much time was that? And was that, does that mean moving to Charlotte? What does that look like?
So the first combine in Norfolk State, the small one, was in April of 2016. This national combine with 24 of us was in May of 2016. So the next month. And then I was supposed to find out after that national combine, I was supposed to find out like a couple months later or something if I was going to get selected. They told me the next day when I was on the plane to head home, like, he's like, Coach Horton couldn't wait, you know, for you, you know, to let you know the news, but he just wants to extend the invitation for you to come back to Charlotte to do this thing for real. And I was like,
nice.
What? taking a chance on little old me. Yeah, I'm gonna do it.
So a lot of us came to know you by Coy's story that she did on you in the What You Need to Know newsletter, and I know Coy was very excited to get you on today. Coy.
Yes, very, very excited. First of all, congratulations once again for breaking barriers
Thank you.
in a sport where we're barely represented. Some of the questions that I have, because I am a little bit of a fan of NASCAR. I like to drive fast and stuff like that myself. But some people who don't understand what a pit crew member does and what your job is to change the tires very fast. Tell everybody, how fast can you change a professional racing tire?
So,
and let me just say we got a couple of minutes left in the segment.
So to take off the 5 lug nuts is literally around a second.
Wow. The
whole wheel is done in under around 4 seconds. So taking the lug nuts off and putting them back on, so you can see how quick that's done. So.
Oh my gosh, that is wow. That is amazing.
Here's what you need to do. You need to keep your occupation a secret. Then, no, really, because then when you're dating somebody, it's worth it. It'll be worth it the first time y'all are riding to get a flat tire to blow their damn mind.
I got this.
Or to see where he is with you. Like if he pulls out his AAA card, or you there with your lug wrench.
Right. I mean, you get out the car, 4 seconds later, you get back in the car. Damn.
It's probably a turn off. Oh, you can't fix a flat. Oh, this some bullshit.
Right. And don't tell him that you like everything that fast. I'm just saying, Brianna. Right. So keep that in mind too. All right, Brianna, how can people follow you?
So my Instagram name is just Brianna Daniels, BREHANNADANIELS. Twitter is @mindless_BMD. And I also have an apparel company, Bree Apparel, on Instagram. So you can find that at BRE_apparel. So yeah, you can contact me on any of those. So.
That is so. Are you guys getting ready for the season now?
No, we're in the season. We started.
You're in the season. Yeah. Okay, right. Okay, all right. Well, I'm very excited. I think that I spoke to Brittany. Was it Brittany who was your partner? The other young woman, or is she a Brianna too? Back in the day.
You spoke to Brianna?
Brianna, yeah, a couple of a year or so ago. But congratulations. Like I said, this is groundbreaking. You really are.
Thank you.
You are. And do me a favor, just personally, would you please tell Dawn Harris I said hello and thank her for all the good stuff she does with NASCAR too?
Yes, I will. She is awesome.
Absolutely. Thank you so much and we're going to keep our eyes on you, young lady.
Thank you. Thanks for
definitely
having me.
Tuning in. You got a new fan.
Hey. Thank y'all.
Thanks. That is Brianna Daniels. She is awesome. a groundbreaking tire changer for NASCAR, the first African-American woman in a NASCAR Cup Series pit.
Seconds.
4 seconds.
4
2,
seconds.
3, 4. She changed the tire.
Well, how long it took us to fix that flat tire that time we was on the road, bro?
Oh, bro.
I think we left the car.
We just left the rental car there, yeah.
Or the cab to the shop.
You guys, we have a couple of other topical stories we want to talk to you about. We don't have any more time for topical. Okay, so let's go to trending. This is a video that Coy brought to our attention. For all of you folks who are tired of running across folks who will not put their mask on, who won't keep their mask on in the state of Texas now, the mask mandate has gone by the way of disappearance, except if you go into businesses and what have you. Right. So this is a great video to show you about what it takes sometimes to keep people's attention on that mask.
Так, стой. Маска где? Маску одень. Стой. Маска где? Маска где, говорю? Маску одень. Да. Маску одень, сказал. Молодцы. Так, стой. Маска где? Маска где? Маску одень. Маску одень. Les masques, je te
I absolutely love that.
They stole that from black moms.
Right.
He had the one guy so scared he was trying to go up the escalator backwards.
I said, let me get my act together and put my mask on before he
That's
comes
what you call herd immunity right there.
You heard me say put on a mask.
Mask of you.
That's you.
I don't know if you guys have gone. I was in Walmart the other night, and you have to have a mask to go on. But as soon as they got in the store, these teenage boys ripped their mask off. And I don't know if you all have had that. Coy, have you run into that?
I've seen that in certain establishments, and I walked around like I had to go back outside and look at the actual sign. Like, is there a mask sign in here? Because all of a sudden, as soon as we passed the front doors, it's like no man's land. I didn't understand it.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Yeah,
What about
we're just down south. It's like
And the further we drove down south, the less mass you saw, right?
right.
Really?
It scared the shit out you too, Sybil. We was at a rest stop. No, we was at what gas station? That wasn't Buc-ee's. We discovered Buc-ee's too, Sybil.
Oh, you did? Okay, good.
That's a whole nother story. We've never seen
It's a whole nother
gas
world.
station.
Is Buc-ee's.
It's like an amusement park or some shit, right?
Yeah.
With pumps, right?
Oh yeah.
I think it was on pump 58. We went pull up on pump 50. Anyway, yeah, the further south we went, the less masks. We saw a family get out. No one had on masks, and I was like, it was the scariest shit ever, you know?
Yeah.
The further south we stopped seeing masks and shirts.
Right.
Hillbillies.
Yeah.
Shirts and shoes. You know, that was the original requirement to come inside a store in the South was shirts and shoes. I can't believe the first time I saw that sign. I was like, they don't wear shoes outside?
Where they do that at?
Mm-mm. I can't. Not even in my own house. My feet get messed up.
I agree with you guys. I think the further south you do get, that all rules are relaxed. I mean, look at what's going on
Not
in
just
Miami.
Yeah. One night in Miami will never be the same again.
Oh my gosh.
What are they doing? And it's tourists.
Yeah.
Right.
It's tourists. They don't pick Miami to be the,
It's
I
a
guess
they
test
feel like
child for all of us.
like COVID-19 is a regional thing.
Like
And as soon as I step into this building and take my mask off, it doesn't step with me. It is not in here. It doesn't exist in Miami Beach.
Yeah, that's the absolute truth. And
like,
a lot of
like
stuff.
going up in a whole house and throwing your condom away.
Excuse me? How does that go again?
No, I'm just playing. So that's a bad analogy. I've never been good with analogies.
That's terrible.
The brother's just speaking from experience. That's all.
I'm in here now. The hell with these condoms.
But I think so many people, because all of the news has been positive pretty much. Like they don't promote, even though people are still dying and people are still getting sick every day, the headline is how many people have been vaccinated. So I think so many people feel like it's over, like we made it through, but no, it's still out here. It's still out here.
It's exactly right. You're right, Chris. And shame on us for not, I used to want to do every day and have, an update on how we were doing in terms of cases and unfortunately the number of deaths, but we're still looking at close to 50,000 deaths a day.
Right.
In a lot of respects. So that's, Fauci is talking about how Donald Trump, didn't want to listen to him, and even he had that contretemps with Rand Paul the other day, as in the United States Senate, and it was just, and there's just so much ignorance.
They had to close down part of Mar-a-Lago because they had an outbreak.
Right, exactly right. Yep. In Mar-a-Lago, where Donald Trump is now living. Yeah, absolutely right.
Well, I'm still wearing my mask, and in the grocery store, people, they were looking at me at the grocery store, Huggy, because I was rubbing the celery, right? Because there's no way to get the.
I don't want to hear about your fetishes, brother. I don't want to hear about your fetishes.
Hear me out, Mr. House. Hear me out. I'm saying in the produce section,
you could have been rubbing on an eggplant. Go ahead, brother.
I did that earlier. Look. in the produce section, you can't get the plastic bags open. You can't get the plastic bags open in the produce section because you can't lick your fingers or nothing. So I noticed that some of the produce is wet because they're spraying it. So I go over there and rub the celery. It's gonna be like I'm crazy and I'm using that to open the plastic bag. And then I
put juice.
Put my bananas in it.
Speaking of what you need to know,
Then you put your bananas in it.
Our newsletter.
So many innuendos.
The first story on the What You Need to Know newsletter today, what you need to know is about the border situation. What's going on in southern borders between the United States and Mexico and Central American countries. And so the Biden administration is really struggling to find some answers here. And the new Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas announced the closing of the southern border to adults and to families, but unaccompanied children are still able to come into this country. But we're talking thousands upon thousands of people who have been coming into the country since January 20th.
And how are these unaccompanied children getting here? Do they think it's just going to be a gang of children just running across the border by themselves?
That's exactly what's happening.
Yeah.
Children are, in some respects, the children are being let off, dropped off, and they come across the border. And you see these kids who are just coming and running across the border. And they're trying to get them a place to stay. They're trying to connect them with family members who may already be in this country. As far as the living conditions are concerned, the Biden administration has come up with a $86 million contract with hotels in Arizona and Texas to house these people who are coming through country, and they're saying over 1,000 families are asked to be a part of this, or asking to be a part of this, and they're staying in the hotels to house the migrants. So it's $86 million contract, and it's with hotels near the border in Arizona and Texas for the next 6 months for over 1,000 migrants. They say like 1,000 to 1,200 migrants. And also, they're opening up places like here in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, the convention center. They have opened up for 3,000 young teenage boys who have come across without any parental assistance.
Wow.
And I have seen there were several stories about other children who do, in a sense, cross the border, but they were doing so to go to school every day and come back. So their parents would literally drop them off at the border fence, where they would crawl through the fence, go to school, and then come back. But times are different now, so I just really can't imagine why somebody would drop off a bunch of children for them to have a chance to make it. But that's so scary. That is so scary.
It is scary, but they are willing to do whatever it takes for a better, what they consider to be a better way of life.
It really speaks to
it's scarier where they are.
Right. It speaks to the conditions that they're living in currently.
Right.
That they would put their child in danger, just sending them out there by themselves. So
absolutely.
Goodness gracious.
It's frightening. It is absolutely frightening. And it seems like they were looking at the calendar, knowing what was going on between the Trump administration and the Biden administration. And it seems like if not January 20th, then certainly January 21st, that's when things really just amped up to the point where we're now looking at thousands of people who have come across in just the first not even 2 months of the Biden administration.
Wow.
And there's also questions about how open is the Biden administration being to the media, because they want to go in and see what the conditions are like. And they have been put off there, and they're trying to come up with some. I mean, even Chris Wallace is saying, at least get us a pool reporter, one person, one reporter, one camera person, and let us go in there and then bring the word back, because pool reporters are nothing new in Washington, D.C. journalism, to send people in and come back and to report the story.
Good gracious.
Sally Rose is just lost. Okay. H2O ice. I worry about so many young people entering the country without any adult supervision, and I worry about trafficking and abuse of all forms.
That's a real concern.
That is a big concern. And that's something we talk about, especially in our production meetings. We talk about trafficking and some of the stories that we cover. But it is a concern because if these kids are not, and there's a law regarding how much time they can spend with the Border Patrol. It's a federal law that limits the amount of time. They've already gone past, so they've broken some laws in terms of holding these children in place until they can find someplace else for them to go. And sex trafficking, human trafficking is absolutely, I mean, we see those stories all the time.
Right.
People are pushed into those vans and those trucks and everything and trying to get across the border to get into this country.
So sad.
Here's something that's not so sad and is very promising. We were talking about the Asian policemen and putting the mask on and how, Chris said they stole it from Black mamas there. Mr. President has made a promise before he became president when he was candidate Biden and said that he would nominate a Black woman as the next Supreme Court justice when there is an opening. Well, it's not on the Supreme Court, but there is going to be an opening because, as you know, Merrick Garland, who was a judge, is now the United States Attorney General. And so that opens his position. And that is the district court judge, Katanji Brown Jackson. It looks like she's going to be the woman who is going to take his place. She is a 50-year-old Black woman. She's a former prosecutor. And as the news has said, she hits the sweet spot in meeting goals for both racial and experiential diversity. Judge on the Federal District Court in Washington, D.C. She was nominated by President Obama in 2013. And so she is a woman who is on her way up if she is nominated as is expected this week by President Biden. And there are other women whose names we've heard, such as Sherilyn Ifill, Kristen Clark, who is already working for the Justice Department, the Civil Rights Division. These are names that are being mentioned as a part of moving Black women up because there are so few of them into positions of power that could lead them to be nominated for the Supreme Court.
Now, moving this sister up, he still has to keep his promise about the Supreme Court.
For sure.
Okay.
But she's getting closer. So let's say that one of the Supreme Court justices, and it's probably highly unlikely, is going to announce their retirement anytime soon. But it will be like Stephen Breyer, who's like 80-something years old. And so if he announces that not this year, but next year, he's going to retire, this would put Katanji Brown in a position. She would get some experience and then would be nominated, which is what they did with the woman that was nominated by Donald Trump, Cooney. He put her up into a position, and then unfortunately, when Ruth Bader Ginsburg died, then he nominated her for the Supreme Court. And this is kind of the same thing that they would expect to do with Judge Brown, Katanji Brown. Kind of exciting, but that's just me.
Let's hope for Clarence Thomas to step down.
You know what? But here's the other thing, Chris, and this is something that always.
I'm sorry, maybe. I hope he trips on his cotton gin.
I want him to stay, and I want Joe Biden to nominate who? Anita Hill to be the next and be there on that bench.
We hope Joe Biden just make it up to the top steps. That's the hell we want Joe to do.
Oh goodness. He's old. It's okay. They just need an official stair walker. That's all. New position in the cabinet. How
about an escalator?
We got the money.
It could have been worse. It could have fell down the damn steps.
Yeah.
That was one thing he taught you: keep on moving.
And
he
get the top. You know, Trump wouldn't have finished. He'd have stayed right there and blamed the steps on Obama and some more shit, you know?
That is the truth. You are absolutely right. Let us go to our young and social activist here, Coy, and find out about this story involving a judge and a young Black man and the comments he made when his microphone was open. Which was really unfortunate. The headline on this is Judge Bench Over Racist Comment. What's the story, Coy?
So there's a judge in Washington State who was speaking with another person in the courtroom, District Court Commissioner Abigail Bartlett, and they had just finished their morning docket. They live stream all of their court proceedings. Procedure is for them to post it on YouTube, and it's later removed every evening. Okay. While he was having a personal conversation, and more information I found out because his son was actually a deputy involved in this case. He started making comments about a young man named Kevin Peterson Jr., who was a 21-year-old man who was shot 34 times by police during a drug raid. And his comments included the black guy they were trying to make an angel out of, and said that he was so dumb he thought he was going to prison for life for one drug deal. So I'm guessing this is what ended up escalating the situation into shots being fired. And he did question his father's motives in terms of how he wanted to handle the case legally, because he says the next day he wakes up with dollar signs in his eyes, and George Floyd's attorneys have already contacted him. So this video was uploaded on YouTube, and more information that was not in our newsletter, but he self-reported these comments because he saw it on there before anybody else came up and said, hey, we heard
before you people get out of hand.
Let me try to, cover this up real quick. He issued an apology through his attorney, and he was saying that he deeply regretted his statements, and it caused divisiveness amongst the community that was already divided, and he didn't want to excuse the fact that his comments did those things, and he really enjoys serving as a judge in that area, and this is the job that he loves. But his 5 colleagues also released a statement and basically said, the views of Judge Darvin Zimmerman do not reflect our views and who we are as a collective, and we denounce all forms of racism, and we will not allow racial bias to pervade in our courtroom. So there has been some actions that were taken against this judge. His caseload has been reassigned, so he's not allowed to work within the criminal court system in his district. And there have also been actions by prosecutor Tony Gollick, who is seeking to disqualify Judge Zimmerman. But as of right now, he has not been fully disqualified. And there have been several attorneys and activists and elected officials that are calling for his resignation.
And you said, as you said, in Why You Need to Know, apologies don't mean anything in all of this.
No, we're not interested in that. We're interested in actions, not apologies. We want actions that rectify the situation, basically. So removing a racially biased judge from an environment that is sworn to uphold the law with fairness and without bias is action. Okay, bye. Just leave. That's all he can really do at this point. It's just interesting to see what happens to these types of elected officials that are judges that do uphold the law. Do they leave and do they go practice law in another county, in another district, in another state?
Question. That's my question too. Is it like the police department when they get fired? Are these judges able to travel and just go to another part of the country? Maybe go visit the grandkids and see a sign out for Judge Wanted, and they apply. I mean, I don't know how that works, but
I believe they can get disbarred. I think they can get disbarred just like lawyers can, so they can no longer practice law, but that doesn't mean that they cannot be an elected official somewhere.
Yeah, if he chooses to resign before he is disbarred, then can he just go and get a job somewhere else?
I would think
Hopefully
so.
Not with legal aid.
There's probably a city in Alabama that's very small that has a population of 5,000 that is looking for a mayor. That might be where he goes next. Who knows?
Okay.
What's going to disqualify him from that?
Fox News.
Fox News, exactly.
Hot mic racist. Hot mic racist.
It's a sad cycle that we're starting to see. But I'm glad that it is getting exposed with a lot of different elected officials. We need to know who these people are so we can oust them. We've seen them in police forces, and now we're seeing them in courtrooms. Who else?
Yeah. So we have people who want to talk about some other things, and I don't know. Do we have this video of what happened in Miami? Okay.
That's right.
Okay. Let's see what we got here. Tamara says, "How about? Can we talk about about Miami? They are only sharing photos and videos of young Black folks, but the white college kids are wilding out on the beaches as well.
That was
Okay.
a
As they
horrible,
always
that was a
have.
horrible impression you just did of Tamara Trinette Brown, by the way. She don't sound like that. She sounds like, how about, can we talk about these
Tamara, I
videos
apologize for my poor
and how they only show
interpretation.
black people?
What about
White
the white
folks.
kids?
How
Wilding
about?
out.
Right. How about?
So
Yeah.
let me just ask you
Yeah,
this
they've been
because
wilding.
because Coy, you have you're not that far removed from spring breaking and all of that goes on. Huggy and Chris, you guys have young people in your families and stuff.
Coy, well, how am I looking here? Well, Coy, you spring break?
Yeah, that's it. That's the way to look. Yeah,
Yes.
direction. What about the
Huggy and I were
differences?
old at the last Freaknik. We were old. We were old then.
Yeah, we were, bro. And we had our masks on.
But what do you all think about the way that Black kids are presented? Because with the some guy forgetting to pay the bill, running out, twerking, jumps up, and that becomes a big story. Or the police coming out and spraying pepper balls at them, and the SWAT teams and all of that. But you don't see that with the white spring breakers. What are your thoughts on the different ways that we are treated?
Well, the
Our
only
children are
videos I've seen on Twitter, they keep showing groups of young black people, which we all know is impossible when you're talking about spring break in Florida.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
It's mostly white folks.
Right.
But for some reason, the videos that are being shared in every story, whether it's about violence down there, whether it's about irresponsibility, not wearing masks, it's just black kids they're showing.
Right. Like the camera crew purposely just, okay, there's 5 black kids. Okay, here's the problem. Here's the problem. Here's the violence. Here it is. And it's just the criminalized view that is often had with black people, especially when we gather in crowds. Like, what, we don't like to go to the beach. We know how to behave ourselves. It's just, how do the police and authorities handle that?
The same thing, like you guys said, with Freaknik. The same thing with Bike Week, Black Bike Week, as opposed to the PWIs and that. So it all seems to be the same.
And then that same energy is not put into news coverage of black people having a difficult time getting the vaccine. Other stories concerning black folks don't never get the kind of energy of young black people twerking.
Right.
That is the truth.
Right.
That's going to go to the top first. Breaking news.
And Chris, the same thing with our kids over the last year and a half who've not had the kind of internet access that they need.
Right.
In order to get their studies done. And by the same token, older people aren't able to have the internet access in order to make their appointments to get their vaccinations.
And the media will take people of color not having internet access and then frame it as a feel-good story. Like, I saw one where in California, these small kids every morning were going and sitting in front of like Taco Bell or something.
Yeah.
And using and they framed it like it was and then Taco Bell said, you guys can come here every morning and use our Wi-Fi. So it's a feel-good story. F that. What about the fact that they don't have Wi-Fi and internet at home?
Right. The fact that they have to go travel in a public place and be subjected to, I don't know, predators.
Right. And then you got to eat that shit.
Not to mention,
you ain't trying to get no Taco Bell contract out. Then you got to eat that shit.
Don't eat the cheese roll up, please.
I love Taco Bell.
I love it too. Give me a job. Give me an endorsement. Quiero Taco Bell.
The little Mexican Chihuahua. What happened to that little fella?
Deported.
Saw him as they were trying to come across the border.
Yep.
All right, it is time for us to ask our question of the day. Ladies and gentlemen, let me ask you this. What is the craziest or the best lie you have ever told to get out of something?
I gotta do Sybil Wilkes show on on the weekend.
Oh
I
man.
know you are funnier and much more creative than that.
Hey, pandemic has really been fucking up my life situation, Sybil.
Oh man.
Okay, you win, Huggy.
What about you, Chris?
Let's go for second place,
Mhm,
Chris Paul.
What about you?
What's the question again?
What is the craziest or best lie you ever told to get out of something?
I told my wife that I sprained my tongue.
Okay,
In
Huggy,
the pandemic.
Huggy, you're gonna have to relinquish that.
You won the man,
No.
brother. You won the man, bro.
You want a mask.
Chris, you talk.
Coy.
Yes.
Stop that one, Coy.
And
Okay.
Coy, to follow this, I've heard we've had some previous discussions, so
This just reminded me of a story, true story. When I became an exotic dancer, I told my parents that I was a barback at a club.
Ain't that the
And
same
I
thing?
tried to maintain the lie. And
Ain't that the same thing, Coy?
No, because the barback is the person that carries the ice over to the bar and helps him set out the drinks and keeps the fountain soda, arranged and clean. And so finally, I think after about 2 to 3 months, I finally told my parents the truth. And my dad said, and I quote, "I knew you were lying because you just kept going to Miami." I was like, what?
Tell that story
I
again.
had no word.
Tell that
No
story
word.
again.
By the way,
Like, what?
Sybil, as soon as Coy said exotic dancer, your producer was supposed to drop the video right there. The file footage right then.
I know,
I
right?
got
Sorry.
every video known to man, but we don't have any of that.
Plenty of stock
Well,
footage.
they play the video of Coy as a barback.
Yeah. Next Monday we'll have that for you guys, okay? Because her parents.
Are you lying? Are you lying?
I'm not lying.
No, I'm talking about Sybil. Are you gonna have that video next week?
And that's the funny thing. When I finally did tell people that I danced, they never believed me. They were like, no, you don't. No, you don't. And I'm like, I'm one of their featured dancers.
And what's funny is it's just like here, she had like 40 plants on stage with her.
Coming to the stage, botanist.
Poison Ivy. Poison Ivy on stage 2.
Feed me, Seymour.
Coming to the stage, a Venus flytrap.
It worked for Tim Reed. I'm certainly can work for little Coy Malone.
This
She
is
be
my outfit.
coming out of ferns and shit.
And Stevie Wonder's The Secret Life of Plants playing in the background.
Hey, he's spraying the pole with fertilizer and shit.
Ouch.
Oh shit!
So a good splash of Roundup.
P Valley, yeah.
Down in the valley with girls getting naked.
If you look closely on some of the episodes,
Tiffany.
you can see me in the background.
Tiffany.
Really?
That's a true story. Yeah, you look closely on some episodes of P Valley. You'll see.
Which episode? I done seen every. Chris, have you seen it? Have you seen it, Chris?
I don't know what that is.
You never seen P Valley?
No.
That's the best lie you
Chris out in
ever
the
told.
suburbs. Chris, I've never seen it. We lie like shit. That's the lie. That's the lie.
What does the P stand for?
Philadelphia.
You pussy ass nigga, you don't know? Oh, I'm sorry, Sybil. I'm sorry. I ain't even supposed to say that on. See?
Yolanda, get the mute button ready.
Hey, you got to get the dump button. I'm sorry. He said with the P. Please, Chris.
It's too late. It's too late for that.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Sybil.
Oh,
Who started this shit? Somebody put the P-Valley up in there.
I was just telling my lie.
and then
Oh,
she
so you
said,
was lying about being in the background.
No, that was the truth.
Oh, well, that's a good one.
That's quite the story, young Coy.
Quite the story, young boy.
I would like to hear your parents' reaction to all of that.
What happened to the fingers in my glove, Sybil?
You've been rubbing celery.
I had them pre-story.
It's time for us to move to entertainment, and I wanted to ask you guys before we go to this: how was the week on the road, or however many days you guys were on the road?
We were gone for a whole week.
It was great.
Was it?
Yeah, we weren't performing anywhere. We road tripped it down to see Tom.
Yeah, that was nice.
Yeah, we wanted to go check on him.
That was nice. And
J.
how was the old fella?
He's great. J. Anthony Brown told us that we don't have to kiss Tom's ass no more because he's not on the radio. Tom ain't on the radio. We don't have to kiss his ass anymore. That's from your friend J. Anthony Brown.
I know.
But we had a great time with Tom.
Well, you always do, because Tom will show you a good time.
He will show you a great time. Like you can't go on vacation. Like
it's never the same, is it?
Never the same.
Never the same.
Never the same.
No.
So never the same.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That is so cool. All right, guys. So it's time for entertainment. I'm not sure how this, but our producer said we should put this in the entertainment segment. We lost another legend. And that is Elgin Baylor has died. The Los Angeles Lakers star and former basketball executive was 86. He died of natural causes and surrounded by his wife and daughter, according to the Lakers in a statement. His wife, last week we were talking about Yaphet Kotto, and this week Elgin Baylor's wife, Elaine, said that he was the love of her life and her best friend. And like everyone else, she was in awe of his immense courage, dignity, and the time he gave to all fans. And so it's great. He really was considered one of basketball's greatest players, an 11-time All-Star, 10-time All-NBA selection during his 14 seasons with the Lakers from 1958 to 1971. Wow.
He was a player's player. Right.
He was. That's what they called him, Hug. Yeah. Exactly. With the Lakers, he was with them when they moved from Minneapolis to Los Angeles, and made 8 NBA final appearances, but never won a title, losing the 7-game series, of course, to the Boston Celtics on 3 occasions. But then the beauty of it was coming back as a basketball executive across the road for the Los Angeles Clippers, and really, really very cool.
And he accomplished all that. He accomplished all that back when they had to wear shorts. That was hard for brothers to play with shorts.
Oh man!
Exactly.
We kept getting called for loose ball fouls.
Did you guys watch the HBCU games on Saturday? They played against the number 1 teams, Texas Southern, and I think it was Norfolk State. And one of the kids from Texas Southern, he has changed to bring back the shorts.
I did see some of that.
Yeah,
that's crazy because they weren't legit shorts. He like made them like that. Like he made them. He had them like rolled and tucked.
Yeah.
He rolled the legs up and tucked them under, so it looked like he played with Speedos. He would have made sure nobody was guarding him.
That's from the Rodman collection.
He's gonna be the fastest player on the court and rack up the most stats tonight.
Yes.
Man, oh man. Yeah, so I thought that was an interesting, I think they were trying to say it was an homage to the old school players with the shorts, but I think it was Grant Hill. He wasn't buying it. He was like, yeah, okay, whatever.
Oh no.
Yeah.
He might as well put on some of them canvas shoes they used to wear with no logos on.
Ankles might not make it.
You guys, I watched the first 2 hours, and actually I ended up extending it last night, of Genius, Aretha Franklin.
I saw one.
You saw one of the segments?
Simple.
With Cynthia Erivo playing the Queen of Soul.
It was great. So.
But I didn't watch it because her Aretha's family was telling people not to watch it.
Right.
Really?
Yeah.
So
I didn't know that.
there was a controversy because they said there was no kind of agreement, there was no meeting, there was nothing.
Wow.
In regards to the way the story was told, was as it was produced and as it was presented. And so I think it was her granddaughter was photographed last week just holding up a picture of the Queen of Soul, and she with her fist in downtown Detroit, asking people not to watch this.
Right. So to stand with Aretha Franklin's family, I did not watch it. That and March Madness was on.
Oh, and
I didn't know that. So I
got to tell you, with all due respect to the Queen of Soul and her family, it was really good. It was. I have a sore throat today. There was so much smoking going on in that movie.
Yes,
I mean, it was so authentic. Regarding it.
I've never seen no one smoke more than my sister.
Huggy. That was incredible.
That was smoking like a broken stove.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
it was a lot of smoking.
And Cynthia Erivo is so good. But you know who else? Courtney B. Vance playing her father, CL.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
Courtney Strong. Even her husband, the guy play her husband. I wanted to punch the goddamn TV.
He was so good. He was so frustrating and so mean. I'm with you. Yeah. I'm with you. And I have the guy's name.
It was excellent cast.
Yeah, and the
even little girl, Sybil.
Really good.
Wow.
Well, this wasn't a Lifetime movie kind of production.
No. This is National Geographic. It's on National Geographic for 4 nights. Last night, Monday night, tonight, Tuesday, and Wednesday, 2 hours each night. And I watched the second running of the first 2 hours last night.
You know, if it was a Lifetime, you know, they'd have had Kirk Franklin playing Fox.
I'll break your fucking neck. You smoking nothing. You ever disrespect me? You bitch ass nigga. Break your neck. Break your neck. Those are going to be the auditions when they finally make a movie about Kirk Franklin. You bitch ass nigga. Excellent. Next. I break your neck. Stop.
Oh dear God! Now, the one way this movie was told that a lot of people don't like, and I know Yolanda Stark-Swipe is one of those, is that there's a lot of back and forth. You know, from her childhood to her adulthood.
Right, it's entwined.
Yeah, and flashbacks and what have you. And so a lot of people don't like to watch that. But I'm telling you, this little girl was so good, and it was great to see.
First time seeing anything too, Sybil.
Yeah, me too.
Hey, back to the Kirk Franklin auditions. Can you imagine how many short niggas are going to be at that casting call? 200 short niggas reading for the same part.
Right.
All of them 4 feet tall. Big ass nigga.
That was great, Mr. Tory. Next. You know, guy going out for that part.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my God. And shout out to Guy Tory. I spoke to him the other day. He's working on a big project. So
yes, he is.
Yes, he is.
We're gonna celebrate that.
Yeah. Awesome. Can I ask you a question just off the, I don't know what that noise is.
I don't.
Very...
What noise?
Okay.
It was Huggy. He was stepping on a bag of Cheetos.
Who would you like to see in a movie, the likes of this type of movie? Whose life story would you like to see next? It doesn't have to be 8 hours long, but I mean, an in-depth kind of story.
I don't know. It's kind of hard to follow that Wendy Williams situation.
Right, between the movie and the documentary. Yeah. I know that we talked a lot of times about the different efforts to bring Richard Pryor's life story to the big screen. But
that would be interesting.
I definitely want. Somebody said Prince.
Yeah.
Same audition as the Kirk Franklins.
Right. but
only light skin.
The hose
light skin, right.
and buttless pants.
Luther
Somebody said
Vandross.
Luther. Okay,
That's a
Stephanie,
great
Oh
one.
yeah,
that's a
Luther.
great one.
Okay, yeah, I would love to see
Yeah.
that.
Al Green.
Al
Oh
Green.
yeah.
They call him.
It's another.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay, Cicely
Cicely
Tyson.
Yeah, we definitely need hers.
Wow. Wow.
I'll put my vote in for Marvin Gaye.
Oh gosh, yeah,
Wow.
that's a real tragic
Tina
tale.
Marie and Rick James.
Maria
Ooh,
Rick James.
that's a
Wow.
week-long series. Tom
Yeah, just
Joyner.
between the two of them, absolutely.
Tom
These are
Joyner.
all good. Yeah, yeah. You don't want to see that.
Yeah, I thought you had I thought you did auto tunes right there. So I'm like, well,
How about the Bill Cosby story?
That would be
Oh,
interesting.
wow.
Critics are giving it 3.5 sips.
Oh,
now,
Oh man.
how
with
about
the
George
Aretha,
Wallace movie?
how about George?
They got that this week with versus Godzilla.
Oh no! You talking
No.
about the George Wallace versus Godzilla movie?
Yeah.
You wrong,
Chris,
brother.
Chris,
You
you're
wrong.
killing us.
He gonna cuss your ass out. You do know that, bro.
He will cuss me out anyway.
Yeah, he'll do that. Yeah, just because it's Monday.
Right.
I'm curious of what the people who are making the Jennifer Hudson version of the Aretha Franklin story, what their thoughts are now, and if there are going to be any changes.
And aren't they doing a Mahalia Jackson? It's like 4 Mahalia Jacksons, though, right?
Yeah. What's
Queen
the young woman?
Latifah.
Brooks
Oh, right.
is from
From
Orange is the New
Orange
Black.
is the New Black. She's one of them.
Danielle Brooks.
Red
Yeah,
Fox.
Red
That's a great one.
But on a
course,
serious,
yeah.
but on a serious tip, the Bill Cosby or like R. Kelly. I mean, two black entertainers that were just adored by so many people.
Right.
To see an actor take their story and put it on the big screen so we could all see the darkness.
Yeah, absolutely. I think those are all great suggestions. And as you entertainment types, I would love to see you guys produce those. So let's get started, shall we?
Well, we're going to have to wait a couple of years before we can talk to this Bill Cosby. We'd have to consult with him. It's going to.
Today is the first Monday of spring. Spring hit us over the weekend on Saturday. And so this is a week of Yogi's Jewels talking about refreshing and things are all anew. And so today I have a bit of a sore throat, so I can't quite go there with you. Refreshing your mind and connecting to your heart are great tools to building a happy life. How about that? Okay, that took Huggy out.
Huggy, it's okay to cry on camera.
Huggy, you know you're a sensitive kind of guy. I didn't think that was going to take you out, though. Okay. Hey, Chris, thank you so much for joining us. Coy, great job as always.
Thank you.
Thank you for
Fiona,
having me.
we want to thank you, our history-making NASCAR pit crew woman. And we thank all of you. Tomorrow's Tuesday, J. Anthony Brown. And also, we will talk with Dr. Glenda Glover. She is the president of the Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated. So thank you all very much. We will see you, and we will close with this. Have a good one.
He can tell you about their first dance, but he can't remember my name. I'm his daughter.
Half of all black families are impacted by Alzheimer's, but we don't know why. At HSC, we are investing in a new research study to find solutions for your family. To join the research study, visit blackalzbrainstudy.com or call 817-735-2963.